Hey guys, Josh here, and in this video I'd like to discuss everything we know so far about Sunkissed City, an upcoming farming and life sim game that takes place in a metropolis. I've been keeping an eye on this game for quite some time, but it didn't have a name, Steam page, or any release window until very recently, so now that we have a lot more information, let's check everything out together. Before we start, just keep in mind that since there's no proper trailer for this game yet, a good portion of the footage I'll be using in this video is from the developer's Twitter account, which does reduce the video quality, so if something looks blurry, it's not the game, it's just the video. And if it's your first time seeing Sunkissed City, you're probably thinking, wow, that looks a lot like Stardew Valley, and yes it does, at least that's what I thought the first time I saw it. The developer, Mr. Podunkan, actually did work on Stardew Valley, and was hired by Concerned Ape to contribute to the 1.4, 1.5, and the upcoming 1.6 updates, working on various features of the game, as well as helping with the ports of these updates to console and mobile. He is now working on his own game, Sunkissed City, taking some inspiration, of course, from Stardew Valley, but also other games such as Rune Factory and even Earthbound, as in fact his nickname, Mr. Podunkan, comes from Podunk City in Earthbound Beginnings. Even though the art style resembles Stardew Valley quite a bit, all of the assets are in fact unique and created by Mr. Podunkan himself. The game tiles are 24 by 24 pixels each instead of 16 by 16 in Stardew Valley, making the game's pixel art a bit more detailed. I think it does look fine overall. The city seems to have a lot of very charming neighborhoods, but just like Stardew Valley, I think the main focus here is not necessarily the art, but the gameplay and overall experience that the game will offer. Because even though both games look similar, Sunkissed City should offer plenty of things that will make it feel distinct and stand on its own, and one of these things is the setting. As a new hire for the Pico Corporation, you move to Apollo, a sun-kissed seaside metropolis, and you're given the task to foster a relationship with its resident to put in a good word for the corporation's eco-focused initiative. Unfortunately, Apollo is not doing as well as it used to. The wildlife is becoming aggressive, monsters are coming out from the sewers, so there will be combat in this game, and people are suffering from constant migraines. When you get there, you will meet the Kebi, strange forest creatures that look like mushrooms, and you will help them fix whatever has been afflicting this city and its environment. Besides the main story and helping the city, you will have your usual activities such as farming, both on a farm and on rooftop gardens, then foraging, exploring the sewers, and of course, building relationships with the city folks. Sunkissed City will feature romance, of course, and you'll get to pick your favorite marriage candidate no matter your gender. Characters will also have portraits when you talk with them, and they're much larger than those in Stardew Valley, giving you a better representation of what the characters look like. Similarly to Coral Island, characters will change outfits based on the season, which is a feature we're starting to see being implemented in more and more games, and is a really nice way to keep things interesting throughout the year. One feature that the developer seems to be quite passionate about is crafting, hinting at mechanics that should look somewhat closer to those of Rune Factory than Stardew Valley. We don't have too many details yet, but if you have never played a Rune Factory game, crafting can either be very simple, just combining different materials like in most other games, but if you want to go deeper, you can add pretty much any item to your tools, weapons, and accessories in order to get different effects and stat boosts, giving you lots of fun ways to play around with the game and optimize your character. Crafting is not the only thing that will be inspired from Rune Factory. Your character will have a huge variety of skills, from farming and mining to more mundane tasks such as sleeping and eating. Those skills will regularly level up, giving you passive bonuses, as well as talent points that you can spend on other perks. These perks can range from things like seeing where your bobber will land when you fish, to things like receiving an energy boost when socializing, which if you're like me and usually don't talk too much to people in farming games, will be a great incentive to finally start making some friends. Leveling up everything in Rune Factory is so addictive and satisfying, and I love to see another game trying something similar and adding even more features on top. One thing I know that Sunkissed City will do infinitely better than the Rune Factory games is customization, which is one of my favorite aspects of farming games. You will be able to make your own pieces of clothing by combining hundreds of different materials, patterns, and colors. You'll also get to choose for each piece of clothing little details such as if you want short or long sleeves. You'll also have accessories like scarves and glasses, and even though the character sprites are fairly small, which does limit our options in a way, there should be plenty to choose from and to customize your character. The developer seems extremely passionate about all of this, and even says that the first thing he did when working on Stardew Valley was to allow players to change their pants, which then led to the tailoring system that got added to the game. The same in-depth customization will apply to our house. There will be a decor mode, kind of like in The Sims, where instead of buying furniture at a store, you will buy from a menu and then just place them right away in your house. There's going to be a bunch of items, floor tiles, wallpapers, even different wall trims to choose from. But my favorite part is how you'll be able to expand your house simply by putting down extra floor tiles. So if you want to make one of your rooms a bit bigger, you can. If you want an extra room in a specific spot, you can too. And everything looks so easy and seamless. I already know I'll be spending so much time building and decorating my house. You'll even be able to take photos with a camera in the game and then hang them on your walls to really make your living space unique. Customization is often what keeps me playing a game for a very long time, and from what I can see, this might be one of the strongest points of Sunkissed City. Of course, you will need money to decorate your house, and farming may take some time before it really pays off, but you'll also be able to work at the Pico warehouse, sorting out shipments, placing boxes in the right containers. It seems like at the beginning, you'll be doing everything by hand, but later on, you'll get to automate things, and recently I've been so obsessed with automation games like Satisfactory. I also love the conveyor belts and the automatic chests in Coral Island. I tried this upcoming game called Oddsparks, which I do recommend you check out, and I don't know if it's just me, but I love automation in games, and hopefully this is going to be a fun side activity to do in Sunkissed City. Since the game is going to take place in a city, one question a lot of people might have is how big is the map gonna be? As of right now, it's still a work in progress, but the developer said that it should have a good size, but won't be as big as in Sunhaven or Coral Island. Personally, I'm completely fine with that. I find that having a big world can sometimes be a detriment in this genre of games, and I will take a meticulously crafted smaller world with lots of things to do any day over a large one that doesn't get used to its full potential. Obviously though, since it does take place in a city, it has to be big enough to give you that city feel. When it comes to exploring the world, many games let you ride a horse, but that's not very practical in a big city, so this game will instead offer you a bicycle, which once again will be customizable, not only in terms of color, but you'll also be able to add accessories such as a basket that will let you carry extra items, which I think is a very good idea and will be useful when foraging. There will also be a subway system that you can use to go to different parts of town, and each station will play a different tune when you arrive, which was inspired by a trip to Japan Mr. Podunkan did, as over there each station has their own melody that can be used to easily distinguish the different stations. As you explore the city, you'll even be able to take your pet out for a walk, and they will just follow you around, which I think is just a really cute feature. I love the amount of little details like this that the developer is adding into the game, as these are the kind of things that are not necessary, but they can really make the world feel alive, fun, and immersive. Now, going back to a comparison with Stardew Valley, I think one thing that makes it quite unique compared to most other foreign games, and why it's still so popular even today with people playing for thousands of hours, at least on PC, is the amazing modding community. Mr. Podunkan said that he had the chance to work with that community during his time with Concerned Ape, and he wants to ensure that his game will support mods as much as possible, and that ideally it would be compatible with the Steam Workshop, where players can easily find and download mods. Also, all of the game's sprites and textures will be easy to modify and replace, so if you're not a fan of the art style, I'm sure it won't take long for the community to create their own texture packs, new character portraits, and all of that. Right now, there's honestly not that many farming or life sim games that really embrace mods and try to make it easy for modders, And these can have such a big impact on the longevity of a game, so even though personally I rarely play with mods, I love when the option is there and everyone can customize or enhance their experience based on their needs and wants. On top of all of this, we also know that Sunkissed City will support both split-screen local co-op and online multiplayer if you're interested in playing with friends. You'll get to customize your experience with per-player difficulty, so I'm not sure what those settings will be exactly, but basically if you have a player that's maybe more of a beginner or someone who needs more accessibility or difficulty options, you will be able to tailor the experience to each player's needs and preferences. It's also good to see that the game is being developed with multiplayer in mind, instead of something that's just being added later on. A fun little feature for multiplayer is that you will be able to purchase a tent and place it anywhere out in the world, and while it might not be the most useful since the world will not be that large, it's a fun addition if you want to, for example, go out camping with your friends or something like that. Once again, another little detail that is not necessary, but gives a bit of charm to the game. If you're excited for all of this, there is a Steam page right now, so you can wishlist the game if you'd like. I'll also put the link to the developer's Twitter account, which is where I found most of the information and footage for this video. There is no exact release date for Sunkissed City yet, but Mr. Podunkian is aiming for a full release on Steam in the last quarter of 2024, and that means there will be no early access or beta beforehand, and we'll just get to enjoy the finished product. The game will be 100% compatible with the Steam Deck at launch, and console ports are planned for a bit later, with the Nintendo Switch in priority if everything goes well. So that is pretty much it for what we know so far about Sunkissed City. What do you think? Are you excited? Do you think it will do enough to feel different from Stardew Valley? Or do you just have too many farming games already? The more I look into this game and see how the developer seems to care so much about certain details, like the customization, the bicycles, the pets following you around, the more I want to play it, and I'll definitely check it out when it releases later this year. Let me know if you'll play Sunkissed City, leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.